Howdy ho. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. So, we're going to try to bring in this new year. As a matter of fact, we're not going to try, we're doing. How about that? Because that's what's happening. These are kindness cards. The goal is to spread joy daily with these cards for friends and family, right? Expressing kindness, love, and gratitude. Okay? Right, so they should have given 52 cards, because at least there's 52 weeks. You could do one a week, but whatever. Alright, it's a beautiful little card. Let me see if I can make it. Be kind to yourself. You deserve it, right? And on the back, there's a space for you to write. It says, you inspire me because, right? Why should you be kind to yourself? Why do you deserve it? Right? Because if you're not kind to yourself, who the heck else is going to be, right? So please, let's start the new year off right. Whatever happened last year, it's water under the bridge. It's bygones. Right? I know the title. 2021 is a 5. It's not, it's the year number. It's not everyone's personal number. So I would really recommend you looking into what 2021 is for you personally. You know, it's like your birthday and all that. They have good websites that'll help you tally all of that. Good apps, too. Like, there's numerology app that does that for you. So I want to see what archetypal energy for this first day, this first burst of joy. You know, the scales are very balanced right now, energetically speaking. You know, as many people is like, yay, oh joy, it's a brand new year, right? There are many people who are more of the mindset like, man, what makes you think it's going to be different? And I say, that is probably the most balanced you can be. Even though it is extremes, right? Out of extremes we find, that's how it came out, okay? Interesting. Yeah, it is a shape-shifting energy, right? It's malleable, right? The sustainer and the shapeshifter. Just looking at that card, right? It's like clay being molded, right? Or bread. I'm not going to take this. You have to fall on the table. Wonderful. I'll take those. See? But you can hear the skepticism in his laugh. Or I can. Village. The ocean. See how 5 came out? Right. I wasn't trying for that. It's one of those things, right? Hello. Welcome. Right. It is the closing of an old cycle. I see moths, I see butterflies. There is quite a bit of metamorphic energy. I use a quote from Donovan McNabb, right? Number 5 would always love you. He came back for like an honoring ceremony years after he had left. I think they retired his jersey. That's what it was. His jersey number was 5. And it sounded so corny when he said it, because he literally walked up to the podium to an arena full of people who were there for him, right? Just to show their support. And to however many people were there, he broadcasted, number 5 would always love you. He didn't say Donovan McNabb, right? Really what I neglected in that moment was the humility he was showing by not making himself stand out. He was, in Philly, they called him a company man. If you were around here during that era, you would have heard people refer to him as such. Whatever. I don't have real interest in football, so I don't even want to begin to hypothesize why. But it wasn't a positive. I'll tell you that much. But he was a part of a greater system. He was a part of a team. He was nothing more than a large cog in a great machine, but still just a component. Take one component out, whether great or small, the machine doesn't run the way it's supposed to. And so, being ever, I get malleable. I really do, just looking at this clay, but even thinking about him as a player, as a captain, and the way he was the right spokesperson, the right image. Now, you know, in hindsight, everything's 2020. But just examining the sort of leadership or lack thereof, no matter what realm of life, you know, insert yours, that you experience it, being adaptive, being able to do what's needing to be done, right? 2021 is going to be a year like that, where all of those skills you've been acquiring, sustainer and shapeshifter, I mean, really, you're going to get to utilize an enormous amount of the information and research and just life circumstances and whatever, these moments of serendipity, if you will, where you acquire a new skill or you meet a new person and they're a new part of a machine you didn't even know you were building, type thing. It's a year to need to go with the flow, because a 5 is ever changing. What's your name? Sharonda Swain, is it? If you want me to read you, there's a donations tab on the About section of my channel. And you can donate $22.22, and I will happily read for you, love. There's a lot of insight. There's an eyeball here. There's cosmic insight. There's another orb there, where it allow you to peer into surfaces, into depths that you might not have been able to prior to the transition. Look, there's a lot of eyes everywhere. Like, I also see a rapid increase in many blessings, talents, if you will, primarily in the area of your third eye, your crown. It's funny, not one of these cards came out right side up, or there are two that came out reversed, right? They're in darkness, if you will, or in their shadow, if you will. But all the rest of them came out sideways. We're going to look into seeing what that is indicative of. But look, you see here around the sustainer, it's the same sort of bursting iris energy. I know this is going to sound a little strange, but do not be surprised if your eyes go through some sort of color change. Not even joking. Anyway. Remember through the whole process, right? The goal is to be kind to yourself. Trust yourself. We all make mistakes, but don't wallow in those mistakes. You know, I was listening to someone earlier and they gave really good advice, right? And the advice went something to the effect of write yourself a pros and cons list, right? So many people think they're in touch with, you know, what they need to work on. But are you giving yourself the credit you deserve? Let's see something. The sustainer, the peacemaker, the upholder, the preserver. The sustainer, the second archetype in the trio of existence, works behind the scenes, tending to the tasks of life. They cultivate gardens, pay bills, keep the mills warm and the mouths sweetly fed. The sustainer is at peace in the process of life, knowing there is no start or finish to humble yet meaningful tasks. They have a natural inclination to nourish others, to achieve, to preserve Earth's resources, to consider environmental impact, to see their role in the divine cycle of life. It's common for the sustainer to become overworked, leading to resentment. Their tasks aren't glamorous, and therefore the sustainer rarely receives the credit or attention the sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, that they can resist necessary change. It is time to take time with this archetype. It is within us all and needs our love. I really like right out the gate, they're asking you to check in with yourself, right? Because it reads, when it's in light, you feel abundant, you feel generous, supportive, and you're reliable. When it's in darkness, overworked, resentful, trapped, tired. Going deeper, the goddesses that are connected to this archetypal energy, Lakshmi, Vishnu, and Detmer. Okay? I think they're all feminine energies. I don't really remember Vishnu. That could be masculine. It's feeling pretty masculine. Okay. But anyway, let me see. It says, take note of the difference between maintenance and sustaining. Which action describes your life more accurately? Like, really, it's in a pause, right? It's sideways. And it's like, what are you wanting your life to shape into? Do you want to be the chronic overgiver that you go into the point where you just drop the ball? You're like, nah, you got it. Or are you truly striving for balance? Because that's my interpretation of this way. It says, contemplate what truly sustains you. Make a list. Wow, didn't see that. Notice how simple yet powerful those things are. And spend some time tending them. Like, where do you want to put your time, your efforts, your energies this year? Given how the last one played, right? This is a now moment. This isn't really about what the entire year looks like. This is about day one. Day one. Can you keep the regimen you've been putting yourselves through? Have you been truly showing yourself kindness? Have you been showing yourselves too much kindness? You know what I mean? I just want to make sure. Sometimes the info. Think about that. And for this card, there's peace signs all over this. And you know a peace sign is an inverted crucifix, right? Right. Are you sacrificing yourself in vain? It's almost like a hangman position. Give yourself a moment. That's twice. Like, I got an intuitive hit to tell you to make a list, and then this card literally tells you to make a list. So, hopefully you all did the thank you, gratitude list to the universe, to the Most High, however you refer to them. You know what I mean? Like, how are you showing up? How do you want others to show this, especially in relationships? Are there relationships that truly need to be cut out? Are there relationships that need to be healed, maintained? Excuse me for a second. Get that to turn up. Excuse me. Right. Alrighty. Let's look at shapeshifter. Something else that's sideways. Are we being too rigid? Are we not allowing... And these two cards fall under the selves, right? Others fall under places and tools and initiations. This is truly your own personal journey. True archetypal energy. Number 24, which is a 6, right? Success, victory. But how do you want to achieve it? How can you make sure you're not working in vain? I heard another person say a few days ago, they made mention of getting beyond billable hours. You know what I mean? Like, you provide a service, not... How did she put it? Instead of hourly, like you get paid for something. No, you get paid for a task, a job, but making sure it's sustainable, making sure you are valuing yourselves properly. It's all energy, it's all frequency. Just more food for thought. Because given the current environment, right? Life has changed the way we know it. Like, it's done. We're not going back. You do all realize this, right? It's not doom and gloom. It's about adaptability. It's about being able to overcome and visualize and see where you want to be and how do you fit into the grand scheme with all the new things that are happening. New, but if you go back through history, you see things repeat themselves. I posted a video and I saw 5 times. I'm like, okay. So if we re-examine how we've survived and thrived through plagues and famine and all sorts of atrocities to human existence, right? If we study this, and I mean with a philosophical mind, it's like, if you, what is it, in Italy, they started using the wine ports once again. Now, social distance, but yeah, who says businesses have to close? We have to adapt, we have to overcome. I'm just using that because I thought it was cheeky. And I'm sure they had options to fill those void spaces before, but they never did. They allowed their pre-existing architecture and historic preservation, and lo and behold, they came in handy. Just saying. I got chills through almost everything that I was saying through that last segment. We must study history in order not to repeat certain things. The moment people drop their guard, it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying. Vigilance is the way forward. Okay? Not paranoia. Vigilance. Listening to the divine guidance we've all been given in different ways, by the way. My intuitive hits are not your intuitive hits. There is a parallel shaping. Okay. All right, let's look at the shapeshifter. On the card, you see remnants on, even on the page here, you see the fish, you see the snake, skin, right? The turtle. Maybe you see the turtle. And the butterfly. So it's not a moth, it's a butterfly. All right. The shapeshifter has a love of theater, games, and trickery. Its energy appears as one thing only to reveal a more complex story below the surface. The shapeshifter is within all of us to some degree. It is the side of ourselves that is slippery, non-committal, experimental, and longs to dismiss the rules. We need its energy to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of our existence. When the shapeshifter card appears, it is important to imagine you are looking at life through a kaleidoscope rather than a single focused lens. At any moment, the scene may shift, revealing a more enchanting vision than you imagine. Be wary, though, as the allure of the kaleidoscope can leave you exhausted and yearning for solid ground. Dancing long-term with the shapeshifter requires a central pillar of integrity that links us back to our center. That's really deep. Like, I can't even front. Like, I'm just like, okay, wait, I need a moment. I literally started hearing, Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Like, I know a girl with kaleidoscope eyes. I am not doing the song justice by any means, but go check it out. It's a LSD song. We're in for a trip. Happy New Year, Tammy. Happy New Year, all. It says, when the shapeshifter energy is in balance, you are vibrant, adaptive, and humorous. When in darkness, you're a charlatan, people-pleasing, and up to mischief. It says trickery. To go deeper, look up Cindy Sherman. It says, the shapeshifter is related to the mask. Notice if any of these cards come up together in one reading. Wait. I gotta read. Not sideways, excuse me. Notice if any of these cards come up together in one reading. If so, you are in the realm of a heavy theater, illusion, and possible deception. Let me see. The ultimate shapeshifter works undercover in service of the greater good. The diminished shapeshifter becomes a people pleaser. It's simple, right? Speak your truth because you're being guided to say what you need to say, right? This is for my people who are into the metaphysical community, light workers specifically. You know your purpose. You've been called to that field, that path. There's no getting around it. It is what it is. The mystic is here. I'll give you two primary examples of people pleasing, right? You have a conversation with someone, it goes horribly awry, it sits on your heart, you're like, oh gosh, I need to make that right, right? That is like divine energy pressing on your heart space. Like, you're just a decent human being. I'm going to put that in there too, because you have the wherewithal and the empathetic sense to like, no, that's really not how I want to leave things. So you follow the guidance and you make good of it, right? People pleasing is you have a conversation with someone, you're direct about it, right? The relationship severs, right? You know what you could do in order to reestablish the relationship, but you set a firm boundary, right? And the relationship dissolves because the other person cannot respect the boundary. Now, you can go running behind them, right? Trying to keep the relationship together, or you can just let it go. Two very distinct differences. Going back here, are there relationships that need to go? Are there relationships that need to be sustained? It all goes together. 2020 was like a precursor to really getting your circles tight. 2021 is going to be that year of like, if you've ever had a rock tumbling kit, right? You put all the grit and the sand and shit in there, and it just start to make a lot of noise. And eventually what comes out are beautifully polished stones. You about to pull the stones out the tumbler and seeing what was able to survive the whole process. Seriously. We about to, this it's going to be like a ride or die establishment year. That's what it's feeling like. Hey guys, let's start the new year off right. Hit that like button for me. Come on. Let's go into the Mystic. Another archetypal energy card. You know what I'm realizing with all the cards that have come out? There's an absence of tools and an absence of initiations. So to me, this is a year of even deeper shadow work for a lot of folks. It's like, just real quick, I'm looking at this card, right? When it's right side up, all you see is one real mountain to overcome, right? When it's reversed, all of a sudden you see that mountain, wait, hold on, that was just a dip, we going back up. But the process of getting back up, slightly different. And they may never quite achieve the same tier as the one you just came off of, but there will be slow and steady progress. It looked like stock markets, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, there's an absence of tools, because I feel like you already got the tools. You got shapeshifter energy, you got sustainer energy, the mystics coming out. That is deep. I just read on top here. It literally says the ocean within the mountain, right? The village card is here, right? But you do see the mountain image on the card. Ocean's next to it. We're going to have to dive into that. Thank you, Spirit. Alright. Let's look at the Mystic. Again, these are transitions that you're in the process of going through. All of these cards are sideways. I feel like balance. Going with the flow. Being able to swing back and forth. Ebb and flow. That's really what you see on that other side of Ascension. Little up, little down. Up, a little down. Up. Yeah. Ebb and flow. You're going to have to really come into terms and grips with that ability. The seeker, the light worker, the dreamer. All the taglines under the mystic. The mystic is often misunderstood in our culture, depicted as a wandering or light-hearted daydreamer, yet like Shiva, the true mystic plays a critical role in society, remaining fearlessly dedicated to the path of transformation. In order to save the earth from darkness, Shiva swallows the poison of the world and holds it in his throat, slowly transmuting the liquid into nectar. This is the work of the mystic. They do not fear darkness, but rather sit in it, in the presence of it, harness the potential and latent energy behind it, and embed it with light. They are patient and prudent change makers, seeking growth above all else. Unanswerable questions are the mystic's lifeblood. The mystic reveals in mystery, in the great riddle of life, dancing with the force of light and dark upon its wings. Balance. See? It's freaking balance, dude. When in light, remover of darkness, visionary and ageless. When dark, expects results, seeks attention and recognition. Go deeper, look up Zen konos, poetry, Murakami novels. Murakami. There you go. It may seem that the mystic is inward-facing, yet its light beams back to the world with the strength of 1,000 stars. See the duality? See the eyes? Beautiful. Like any light worker, the mystic must build a relationship with fire. This begins by awakening the inner flame or tapas within. I get that. You need to meditate, y'all. This level of awakening, it comes from meditation. Practice. You will see little drops, by the way, when you're tapping into this energy. You will literally see flames in your mind's eye dancing. Like little drops. Not too unlike this little red drop. The village is reversed, right, as a place. Let's see. Maybe you don't feel like you have a home. Maybe you don't feel like you found your tribe. Why is that? Told you, you're going to pull some rocks out that tumbler. You're going to see who made the final. The hometown, the family, the tribe. What'd I say? The village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it is the place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draws us back. On the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists. One must... Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, I had to read the whole sentence because I didn't get it. Okay. One, most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. The energy of the village is present anytime we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its parameters will never satiate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return. For now, the world awaits. When in light, intimate, rooted, intergenerational, communal. When in darkness, small-minded, gossipy, trapped, restricted. So it's really, that's how you feel where you are currently. So relocation for a great deal of people. In order to maintain this balance, and that's really what this looks like. You're not in one way or the other. You're in a gray space. But maybe you need to be able to shift into the full light aspects of all of these energies, right? Because they can coexist within any one person. They're archetypes, traits, if you will. Yeah, it does look like they're putting a squeeze on you. It's time to go. You know who you are. It says to go deeper, look up Hakuri Murakami's Hard-Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World, specifically that one. Okay? It says returning to the village is as important as leaving it. This can be thought of as a contemplation or a completion, or an integration of what you learned out in the wild, right? The village moves with you, as it is more of a mindset than a physical place, right? You've heard people, they'd be like, when you're leaving, they'd be like, oh, I'll always be, you'll always be in my heart, vice versa sort of thing. It's like, yo, they come with you. Like what they taught, those experiences, they travel with you. You don't have to put yourself in a locking, like, pattern. Like, you can, like, relocate, you can do things, you can expand your horizons, you're capable. You're more than capable. These could be the energies circulating around you, right? The people in your environment could be small-minded. They could be gossipy, right? They could feel restricted and trapped. Who doesn't feel restricted and trapped right now due to the pandemic, right? But even if it takes planning and strategy, right? You can shift your circumstances. All you have to do is create the mental pathway saying, this is what I want. Now allow the universe to work with you in order to have it come to fruition. Let's look at the ocean. One, 33 here. The unconscious, the depths, the incomprehensible. The power of the ocean is unmatched. To step into its salty waters is to step into the unknown. By its sheer volume, the ocean represents the unconscious, all that is beyond our understanding. We cannot live within the ocean. We cannot claim it, manage it, or own it. It rejects our every attempt to dominate nature. Yet amid its overwhelming power, it calls to us, inspires us, and invigorates our life on land. It dissolves the little us into the big us. When the energy of the ocean is present, there is change stirring that is beyond any change you've known before. The ego must dissolve. The saline swells work on your very cells, your fibers, your deepest underlying beliefs. Like Aphrodite, we rise from the ocean's froth, a new being. Life is change. Let the wave crash. Doesn't that sound like a tower? Told you. Guys, it's not going back to the way it was. I don't care what anybody's telling you. It's not. So allow the wave of change to crash. Like, truly. Don't resist this. It says, when it's in light, deeper than deep, big dreams, discovery. When in darkness, subsumed, literally that's what it says, drowned, polluted, unpredictable. Go deeper. Shakespeare's The Tempest. Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorites. Geralt's The Wrath of Medusa. Study waves, touch their surface, get in the water no matter where you live. Each drop is part of the whole. The ocean is in every tear. The ocean displays every emotion without shame. To witness its glassy moonlit surface and its unforgiving storms is to know the full spectrum of the human experience. Amen to that. Whether the waves come one at a time or drop by drop, or a rushing river, or in a high tide, they come, right? The emotions come. I feel like a lot of you are being stifled where you are. Like, truly. You're not able to breathe, to be allowed for your minds to wander, to expand, to grow. Like, it's not peaceful. It's really what I'm getting. There's too many people watching you. As a matter of fact, you got a lot of folks who are in your information and your business, wanting to see you, wanting to look. Like, it's uncomfortable. There is no peace here. Too many nosy energies. The moment you realize that, I'm telling you, they want to change things for you, but this 5, the year, it is. But it's just another cog in the sprocket of the universal wheel. Okay? Tighten your circles. Remove yourself from stagnant energies. If you want to do something bold, do it. Why? Why not? Don't listen to naysayers. Truly. You're going to see that what you've already gone through has prepared you so well for what is coming. You're going to be walking like, oh, this is much easier than I thought it was going to be. Right. Give yourself some credit. You deserve it. All right, guys. Happy New Year to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for your likes, shares, subscribes, your donations, your bookings. Thank you, everyone who sent me stuff. I really do appreciate it. You will be seeing all of those tools in effect very soon. All right. New year, new you, right? Light and love. Bye.